climate
People
change?
who are in mobility as a consequence of climate change and environmental degradation are victims and are victims of this mobilization if their human rights are not protected.
First of all, Southeast Asia, this part of the world, is certainly no stranger to the complexity, but also, I note, the frequency of a multitude of natural disasters which impact this region. Recent history shows, from the tsunami in Aceh to Haiyan and floods in Guangxi, earthquake, look right now what's happening in Mayon volcano. All of these have an impact in terms of being a root cause for potential displacement.
When you look at people who have crossed a border and need assistance, they're in a very difficult situation. It's not their government. It's not their local mayor. It's not their Red Cross. It may not speak their language. And although assistance is always supposed to be given on a needs base,
And they are already vulnerable. Their human rights are already very, very unprotected. And when they're made to move, there is the additional pressure of their human rights being further degraded. So that is an issue that we should be discussing in ASEAN on a regional approach on how we should be helping them. It is a reality. The statistics have shown it. The second message is that it is Asia Pacific that is so badly affected, and in Asia Pacific, the sub-region of ASEAN. So this is not a thing of just imagination. It is actually happening, and we should be better aware of it. We should have what we call a sociological imagination of what is happening to our people, and we should do something in concrete terms to help them get out of their misery.
The Nansen Initiative is a government-led, bottom-up consultative process that is chaired by Switzerland and Norway, and that looks at the issue arising from cross-border movement due to climate change and natural disaster. Its objective is to generate the global debate, the regional debate that leads into the formulation of a protection agenda for people that do move across borders for these reasons.
People are displaced because their houses are destroyed, because they have to evacuate from flooding. They can't return, everything is destroyed, so they decide, let's move to one of the big cities, internal migration.
I think it's very important to highlight that for a country like the Philippines, who experiences 20 to 24 disasters in a year, it's important to find durable solutions, not just for issues on displacement, but I think most of the issues from humanitarian relief phase to early recovery and rehabilitation phase after every disaster.
Well, Indonesia is really prone to the disasters. We have so many disasters now. It's really prone to disaster, any kind of disaster, natural disasters, climate change or hydrometeorological disaster.
There's no exception for Thailand. We've been through many disasters for the past years. For example, we have tsunami in 2004, and we also have some slow onset disasters such as coastal erosions and floodings as well. And these kind of disasters bring us a lot of huge effect on the human mobility in Thailand.
I would say the non-initiative program itself, or the activity, very relevant to the Cambodia, because what they see, the majority taking care of is human being, the particular human life.
So I think it's crucial to be able to institutionalize key mechanisms and revisit policies that are really crucial and relevant in addressing these issues.
We feel that it is important to be in this forum. At least we can hear or we can learn something for other countries, which is especially in ASEAN, because geographically we are related, we are close. So I think it's good to hear or what they have done to tackle this disaster.
Nansen's relevant because it's discussing issues that fall into a gray area of international law. And how are we going to deal with climate change and migration as people cross international borders? How is it going to be dealt with on a practical level for the family, for the husband, for the wife, for the children? How are their needs going to be addressed? Nansen's discussing what happens when a disaster forces you to cross a border. It's also discussing what happens when you're already across a border and the disaster happens at home.
Our people are vulnerable to disasters, to climate change, both at home and overseas. So the thrust of the Nansen Initiative to forge a global consensus on cross-border displacement due to natural disasters prompted by climate change is very important to us.
Ultimately, this is about individuals, about men, women, children who are caught up in a disaster situation, who are struggling because of adverse effects of climate change. And all the work we do ultimately has to be on behalf for these people who are in these difficult situations.